Hey there, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you all. Welcome to Take the Black Live. I am Kayla Canarum, here with my co-host, partner in crime, Dan Selcke, who is fresh from Dallas, came from Con of Thrones over the weekend. Huge success. We're going to hear all about it from him. Cheers.
We are celebrating Con of Thrones. We are celebrating a giveaway. It's going to be a big show for you. We're drinking. We have a giveaway. We have an announcement later. So, Kayla, glad to see you again. You were off last week.
It was on vacation.
Let's drink to vacation.
Cheers to vacation.
All right, everybody, let's start the show. Hey, everybody who's watching. Hey, Julie. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Dan. And hey, Sue. Hey, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. Let's start with a giveaway we're going to do today. We finally have something to give away to y'all.
It's been a minute since we've done a giveaway.
It's been a little bit. But HBO's marketing was kind enough to reach out and offer us a copy of the Game of Thrones Season 1 Ultra HD 4K box set.
Super, super high def.
Not yet, super, super high def. It's not just Season 1. It's Season 1 with images so sharp they will draw blood.
And we didn't see this the first time around, right?
No, it's normal definition. I don't exactly know. Look,
it's generic definition.
I'm not an HD guy, but if you, I hope you love high definition. Anyway, we're going to give these out, one of these copies out. To win it, what we usually do is we're going to ask a trivia question later in the show. And you're going to, we'll just do it this way. You're going to put your answer in the comments. And if you get it right, I will get back to the first person to get a correct answer in, ask for a name and address, you give me that, and then, if you confirm, we'll send it out to you. Good luck, hope you win.
That's an awesome prize.
It really is.
Who wouldn't want it?
It's a very good value, and Ultra HD.
Did you make the question hard?
No, I never do. I try to make it relatively easy. I want people to have a chance. It's a romantic question this week.
Ooh, love it.
To romance.
Okay. To romance.
Let's get into the meat of the show. And Julie, hope you had a nice break.
Hi, Julie.
Exactly. All right, so today I did go to Con of Thrones, the biggest Game of Thrones convention of its kind.
Huge.
This past weekend in Dallas, Texas, and I honestly, Kayla, I had a blast. First of all, I have to shout out to everyone who came up to me there and said hello. You guys are so nice. Claudia, Kenny Adamo I saw there, who's a regular commenter.
Sure.
Some others whose names escape me. Just thank you for everybody who came up and said hello. You were all so great. I loved Con of Thrones. It was just a really positive atmosphere. Everybody loved Game of Thrones there. It was just a soaking up the fan love sort of thing.
Thanks to everyone that watches and came up and talked to Dan.
Completely.
Makes us happy. Is that your Disney World? Is that your happiest place on earth, Con of Thrones?
It's got to be in the top 5, yeah. By the way, Dan Turton asks an important question. The giveaway is only for U.S. residents. I am sorry about that. We have to ship it out. Shipping prices being what they are, we can only do it in the U.S. But we'll have other giveaways in the future. But yeah, we're gonna give away the Season 1 HD box set a little later in the show. Right now, I thought we have a little highlight reel of Con of Thrones. And actually, I haven't seen it. Looking forward to this.
Cool.
Here's, if you were there, you know what happened here, and I hope you enjoyed the hell out of it. If you weren't, here's a little of what I experienced over the weekend.
Welcome to Miltos.
Sibel Kikili. Hey, Bianco. What? Oh, God. Joe Dempsey.
I'm, frankly, shaking in my boots right now with anticipation of what's coming because I have no doubt that we will redefine the word epic next season.
Dan, cheers to Dan killing it at Con of Thrones.
Thank you,
that was
Taylor.
awesome.
It really was so much fun.
You're like a regular reporter.
I am like a regular reporter. I resemble a regular reporter. I'm like 3/4 of a regular reporter, 2/3.
I think you should go to the season 8 premiere. How do we find a way to send you to the red carpet?
We appeal to HBO right now. If you're watching HBO, and I know you are, because we're giving away your stuff. Extend an invite to me to go up to the season 8 premiere. I will dress up smart. I will have a microphone. I'll be very approachable and ask people friendly questions.
Do you think any of the cast members know you? Besides the one you
Oh,
interviewed this weekend?
yes, I'm sure they do because I talked to them this weekend.
Besides those two, like, do you think the cast knows who you are?
I have no idea.
Do you think they look at fan sites?
I doubt it.
This is a pretty popular one, so.
Yeah, if they're going to know anybody, it might be this. George R.R. Martin knows what Wick is.
You're like low-key famous, Dan.
Let's go with that. to being low-key famous.
To being low-key famous.
And the excuse I can. Anyway, I had a blast, and we'll do a little more of that a little later in the day. Thank you, everybody. Renee says, good job, Dan. Lisa says, awesome. Thank you. Julie says, cheers. Love it. By the way,
made us proud.
It wasn't all just walking around having fun. There was some news that broke at Con of Thrones, and some of it was pretty big. In fact, I might have even gotten an exclusive. Among the things I did was I interviewed Hannah Murray, who plays Gilly.
Yep.
And she told me a couple of interesting things. She said, well, let's just watch the tape and see what Hannah Murray, Gilly, said when I talked to her at Con of Thrones.
Exclusive interviews.
Exactly. Over the years, you've had brushes with Shireen. I think she's here, isn't she? The actress, yeah. And the Tarleys, who had some scenes with them. Who else? Castle Black. Is there any scene partner apart from John Bradley who you particularly like working with?
So there are a few from season 8 that I can't actually mention.
So the show's ending. Has it sunk in yet? I'm not sure if you filmed all your stuff yet or what. Has it sunk in yet? And what will you take from the experience going forward?
I don't know. I think it's just, for me, it's set the bar really high in terms of the quality of people that I want to work with. I think that everyone on our show is so talented in every aspect of the cast and crew. And I hope to continue to work with people of that sort of caliber going forward. And yeah, no, it's starting to sink in. I've finished. I've shot all my scenes. So the final day was definitely very emotional.
Cheers to Dan's interview with Hannah Murray. That was so good.
Cheers, my interview with Hannah Murray.
You didn't even look starstruck. Just a natural.
She was the sweetest person in the world. She was very, very easy to talk to. Very sweet, very nice. So it wasn't hard at all. I was a little worried I'd be intimidated, but it was fine.
She looked younger there to me.
I mean, she's like 28, I think.
Okay.
That works out.
I didn't realize she was that young.
Anyway, and she agrees, Julie, that she's so tiny, which I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, she's little. Tom Cruise is 3 feet tall, but on screen he appears huge. Anyway, what you heard in there, I hope, was that two things. A, Hannah Murray is finished filming Game of Thrones season 8. That is
Finito.
a wrap. That is a wrap on Gilly. No more Gilly scenes. It's over, which must be a lot bittersweet for her, but also a huge one. She did tell me she was, it was hard to say goodbye to everybody. Her last day was very emotional. And she also said that in season 8, I asked her who she liked working with the most, apart from John Bradley, who plays Sam.
Right.
And she said, I have a few I can't talk about from season 8. And I was like,
Ooh. Who do you think it is?
I mean, I think that Gilly's at Winterfell, right? So actually the options are pretty enormous. I mean, that could be anybody from Tyrion to Jon Snow to Daenerys to Sansa to Arya to Tormund to Brienne. It could be anybody.
I
to
hope
the
her
Hound.
and Sam have a happy ending. I hope one of them doesn't die.
I feel like they will. I feel like Gilly and Sam are going to make it. I really do. I
thought you meant one of them you thought one of them
no.
were going to die. That's a little morbid.
If it were up to me, because, I mean, A, just neither of them will be on the front lines, and B, they've just been so sweet.
I know.
Why
You can't kill one
stick
of
the
them
knife
off.
in there?
Right.
They've had probably the best relationship of anybody on the show.
Agreed.
Even if she was married to her father and had an incestuous baby. Listen, it's Game of Thrones. We're grading on a curve here.
Forgot about that.
It's easy too, but yeah, it happened. Anyway, Joe Dempsey was also at Con of Thrones. He also revealed that he is done filming scenes, so it's a wrap on Gendry as well, Robert Baratheon's bastard son.
Yep.
So things are coming to an end. The filming's winding down. Cast members are checking out, and I think we'll see more of that pretty quickly. All
Sad
right.
times.
Let's do a bit more news, and then we will get to the giveaway of the Season 1 Ultra HD 4K Game of Thrones box set. Okay, I have to hit a couple more stories before
Go.
we get to that. All right, so George R.R. Martin, author of Song of Ice and Fire.
What's he up to these
this
days?
might be the last time we can get one of these reactions. This will be fun. So he's going to produce, possibly write the script for,
Let's give him more projects.
a animated children's movie adaptation of his 1980 short story, The Ice Dragon. The cover of which will show up eventually. Which is nice. What do you think about that, Kayla? Expanding out into
He's
other
just,
mediums.
yeah, dipping his toes in all kinds of things.
Good. It's classic.
I just really think it'd be cool if he finished his book.
Me too. I mean, look, I feel like I always say this. I have no idea if he's going to, how involved he will be, but his Ice Dragon story is going to get a movie, like an animated kids movie.
I was going to say, has he done anything with kids before?
Probably not. This guy, I don't think it's really his forte.
Right, so this is cool. This is something new.
It is something new. And, I mean, he's kind of like becoming an empire sort of guy, like with a media empire of his own. He'll have like TV shows, he'll have a movie in production, he has books on the way.
Prequels.
He's a regular John Grisham type where he just has everything in the hit list.
Checking every box.
Check every box, and why not? If you have that career opportunity, go for it.
Go for it.
Just, you know what? At this point, I'm just like, go for it, George. Go for whatever you want. There was a whole panel called "Finish the Books, George." I did not attend it.
I would have attended that one.
Apparently, it was
I'm very
contentious.
curious. I would have definitely been front row for that.
Kind of Thrones. Yeah, I kind of would have been curious too. I enjoyed I enjoyed the panels I went to.
I was going to say, you didn't recap the panels.
I mean, there were tons of them.
But the ones you did.
The ones I did, yeah, they were great. If you went to my panels, thank you very much. I appreciated the audience. I did a Queering Westeros examination of homosexuality and queerness in the story. I did How Game of Thrones Changed TV, which was a lot of fun to discuss that. I like talking about that stuff.
Yep.
And I did the spin-off panel, which I was the moderator for. And we voted on which spin-off we'd like to see most by applause from the audience, and the winner was The Erotic Adventures of Oberyn Martell.
Whoa.
About Oberyn in
okay.
his 20s. Could be fun.
And didn't you say someone even cleared their schedule to go to your panels?
Claudia was a volunteer and a watcher of this show. She was so incredibly sweet and fun and friendly, and she made a point to see my shows, and I really appreciate that.
Cheers
Thank
to
you, Claudia. Cheers to Claudia, and cheers to Kenny, and cheers
And
to
all
everyone
the
else.
Con of Thrones goers.
Everyone else who talked to me. It really was like enervating. It was like, it made me want to do this more because it's just
good.
the connection is
Yeah.
very, very, it's very, very nice and sweet.
That would be really cool. You're surrounded by people who all have the same interests, so.
Exactly. Kenny missed my last one. Well, I don't like you anymore, Kenny. It's fine. He just commented that. I'm kidding. Thank you very much for coming. Anyway, one other thing for you before we get to our announcement and our giveaway. Kit Harington Rose Leslie, set a date.
I'm so happy we know now.
Are you really?
Been
This is
waiting
nice
for
for the
this.
show.
It didn't happen on Royal Wedding Day,
it
as
didn't.
I predicted.
June 23rd in Aberdeenshire, Scotland,
That sounds magical.
at a castle owned by Rose Leslie's father. It does sound pretty nice.
The name, a June wedding at a castle. Your regular fairy tale.
It really kind of is. And you met on a fantasy show about dragons and knights and stuff.
And her dad owns the castle. Did I read
It
that?
can't get better. Yeah.
So it's castle in the family.
She's like blue blood
Casual.
type. It's very nice.
Oh, I did not know that.
I mean, she's not like royalty. I don't know her. But good for them. Kit Harington Rose Leslie, John Sonia Gret, tying the knot after all these years. Hooray. And, okay, let's get to the Season 1 Game of Thrones Ultra HD 4K giveaway. We're giving away this copy. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask y'all a trivia question about Game of Thrones. And if you know the right answer, type it in the comments. The first person to get the right answer, I will contact them via Facebook, ask for a name and address. You get back to me. You win. You get the Game of Thrones Season 1 Ultra HD 4K box set. If you don't get back to me within 24 hours, though, I got to move on to the next person.
Next one in line.
So
Gotta
be
be quick.
sure you're attentive, paying attention to your Facebook messages. All right. Here is the trivia question to win the Game of Thrones Season 1 box set.
Okay.
All right. In Game of Thrones Season 2, before Sam left Craster's Keep, right after he met Gilly for the first time, he gave her a family keepsake and told her he'd be back for it, to keep it safe for him. What did Sam give Gilly? What family keepsake did Sam give Gilly back in Season 2 when he left Craster's Keep? Put your answer in the comments, and you could win a Game of Thrones Season 1 Ultra HD 4K box set. That title is so long.
I don't even know what half those things mean in that title.
Yeah, I mean, Ultra HD, high definition.
I get that.
4K, I think, is the resolution.
Okay, I didn't get that.
Like, it's like 1080p is like there are 1080 pixels at the top of the screen. Now there's 4,000.
Okay. To sum up, it's really cool and you want to win it.
It's so cool and you want to
So
win
put
it.
your answer in the comments.
Yeah, I'll say it one more time, just if people get the trivia question. Okay, Season 2, Sam goes to Craster's Keep. He meets Gilly for the first time. Very sweet. Hope they live. And before he leaves, he gives her a keepsake, a family keepsake, to keep safe for him. It's kind of a promise he'll be back. What was that keepsake? Do you recall the answer to this?
Nope.
It's okay. I didn't actually either.
You didn't? Okay.
No, there are
Makes me
parts
feel
of it that are
better.
kind of a blur.
I mean, I have guesses, but
Sure.
I don't really.
And it looks like people in here are putting on the answer. So somebody here will win. But we'll find out who after the show. Okay. And now we have a joyous announcement at Winter is Coming, because change is beautiful. All right. Kayla Knierim, why don't you take it away?
I'm nervous. I don't want to cry. This will be my last show with you, Dan. I will be moving to Los Angeles in a few weeks, and this is my last Take the Black. And I have loved every minute of it. I'm not kidding. I look forward to it every Wednesday before doing this podcast, this Facebook
Live show
Live.
podcast. We are available on iTunes, by the way, in podcast form.
I had never watched the show. You introduced me to this whole new world. And it's something I looked forward to every week. I loved interacting with the fans who watch us faithfully. You guys are the best.
You really are.
It has truly been a great experience, and I'm going to miss all of you, including you. Oh, Dan, you've made this so much fun.
Cheers,
But
Kayla.
I am moving on to LA. I lived there once before. I'm going back, as we've talked about on the show. But just looking to do something else in entertainment. We'll see what happens. I don't really know yet, but got to chase the dream.
We'll definitely be watching. And Kayla, I mean, seriously, I love the fact that we hadn't seen the show. I loved showing it to you and watching your reactions and finding it out. I thought it was so much fun.
It was
I
fun
had
going
such a
through it with
blast.
everybody.
It really was. I thought we had some decent chemistry. We had some fun.
duh.
We had some drinks.
We loved our drinks.
We
didn't
chatted about a lot of news, read way too closely into it. You guys were all very sweet. And of course, and Take the Black Live is not going away. We will
No.
have...
Still be here.
No one can replace you, but we will have someone else. We will have someone else.
Well, I'm sure someone can.
to discuss the news with me. I mean, not in the way that you did it. Your role is secure. Your legend here at Take the Black
well,
Live
gosh,
is secure.
thank you. That's sweet.
And if you're ever in Chicago, swing on by for a guest spot. Why not?
Absolutely, I will. If you're ever in LA, come visit.
I would love to. Okay, so Kayla, thank you so much. It's been a blast.
Thank
and,
you, Dan. Thank
I
you.
wish you the absolute best in Los Angeles.
Thank you. You're a doll. Thank you, guys. Thank you
Cheers.
for watching. I'm going to miss you. I'll have to get updates from Dan on how it's
You can
going.
do that. Cheers, Kayla.
Cheers. I'm out of wine. Is that bad luck?
Nah, I have no idea.
Maybe one more drop? This show is good to the last drop.
This show is good to the last drop. Excellent way to go out. If you're wondering, people are saying, Dan Turton, bye, Kayla. Kathleen, good luck in L.A. Julie
Thanks,
Davies, I will
guys.
miss you, Kayla, but congratulations and best wishes and everything your heart desires, which I completely
Thanks,
endorse. That's a
Julie.
great message.
Thank you.
Renee, bye, Kayla. Renee also has a crying bummer, a crying emoji. Kathleen Morris, that's a bummer. So people are going to miss you, Kayla. I'm going to miss you. The fans are going to
The
miss you.
feeling is mutual.
Again, good luck. We're kind of repeating ourselves by this point.
I
but
know.
Good luck. And
We can go
Bon
on forever.
voyage.
All right. Without further ado, here's Josh Hill.
we are drinking wine, so you know.
A little sappy.
And now, as we recover from this, hi, Rachel, in Nashville, we're going to bring on Mr. Josh Hill for our weekly segment, A Song of Dan and Josh, the show where Josh Hill and I, editor Josh Hill,
Indeed.
go through a chapter of A Song of Ice and Fire and pick it apart, analyze it. What makes this chapter tick? Although, Josh, I'm so depressed right now that Kayla's leaving. I don't know if I can really handle this. So you just do it yourself.
That's a tough act to follow. Like, although I did like how you like shepherded her off. She was like having a moment with you, and you're like, we're just repeating ourselves. What's done is done.
We were.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I'm sad, but I don't want to be repetitive.
It's true. That's one thing I've learned about Dan.
That's just
He's
bad
not repetitive.
Exactly. And we poured you some wine. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing very good. Although I feel like you're doing better now that you're back from Con of Thrones.
I loved Kind of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was a blast. It really was.
So I remember you were really nervous when we were here last week. You weren't sure how it was going to go. We only read one chapter because you were so nervous. So
I mean,
it affected me.
It wasn't because I'm nervous. It was just because I had so much work to do. I didn't have time to read two. Make notes on two.
Yeah, you were a superstar, though. So that's what I hear.
I was very nervous, because I'm like a kind of an introverted guy. So just the idea of like talking in front of people was like, a little nerve-wracking, but it worked out.
Yeah.
I couldn't shut up. All right, so today we read Eddard 13.
Indeed.
Another key Eddard chapter. They're kind of all key Eddard chapters at this point.
Yeah.
Another, like, every other chapter is a Ned chapter now. Mm-hmm. It just kind of drives home how, like, the cliche is that he is the main character of the first book. There's no other way to put it. Yeah. He dwarfs everyone else in terms of page count, which, again, is another reason why it's so shocking when he dies. So just kudos to Martin again. Julie says, the sadness is overwhelming. Which, yes,
it is.
It is, but we will soldier on. I'll start by sipping this. Cheers, Josh. Cheers,
there we go.
Josh. Tequila. I'm out, but I'll live. Okay. So, what basically happened in this chapter? What stood out to you?
Well, first of all, hello, everyone, because I forgot to say hello.
It's been an emotional day.
It's been a rough day. Well, this is the chapter where Robert dies.
It is. So Robert dies.
Very unceremoniously, too. It was.
Yeah.
I liked how that was done. It was just everybody accepted his fate. There wasn't any kind of dancing around. There wasn't any, dramatic, no, not Robert. It was just kind of like, even he was like, all right, time to drop my will. I feel like he
more than anyone.
Yeah, he was just like, let's get this done with. So, but ultimately, again, it's Ned's chapter. And all of these things that happen to Ned, he always thinks he's doing the right thing. He's always the guy making the right call. So he wants Stannis to be on the throne, because he basically gets to pick who wants to be on the throne here.
Because, I mean, technically, Stannis is Robert's younger brother. Yeah. And because Robert's children are not actually his children, in terms of, like, you look at it from, like, a pure primogeniture era, like, secession timeline thing. Stannis, as the next oldest brother, you don't have any kids, is technically the next in line. Yeah. It's like by the letter of the law, that's the case.
And again, Ned doing the right thing by the book, it ends up being literally the thing that kills him. So this whole decision snowballs downhill because he wants to do the right thing, and it sets off. He's got to jump through all these hoops. The game has become too hard for him to play, and he's made the wrong moves. So
it is. But okay, so what I'd like to do today is let's walk through Ned's decisions here. Because he makes a bunch of decisions in this chapter.
He does.
And I want you to tell me if you think they're bad on their face or only bad in retrospect. Let's see if we can puzzle that out.
Let's do it.
So the first, like, kind of decision he makes is when he's called into Robert's deathbed, and he's dying, and there's Cersei's there, and Renly's there, and Pycelle's there, and they're all kind of crowded around the dying king. And Robert shoos all of them out and just says, here's my will, I'm going to dictate to you, write it down. And the first kind of the first big move Ned makes is, I'll just read it, like Robert says, my will is this, and the kingdom shall go to my son Joffrey. And then, but Ned, being tricksy, writes, so Ned bent his head and wrote, but where the kings had said, my son Joffrey, he scrawled, my heir instead. So making it ambiguous. No longer Joffrey, it's my heir. And of course, according to him, since Joffrey isn't his heir, because he's not an actual child, Stannis is his heir. So in a way, yes, we know now this decision leads to war because there's ambiguity now. Yeah. There's like, who is the heir is not specific. You know what you have there? You have a secession crisis. You have a war of secession. You have multiple people saying, well, I'm the heir, I'm the heir, I'm the heir. And then there's freaking war because they're all fighting over who gets to be the heir and who gets to sit the Iron Throne. But in that moment, Ned, knowing that Joffrey isn't legitimate and is a bit of a jagwagon, Can you blame him for making that move? Was that a bad decision?
Jagwagon, good word.
It's not really a word I don't even think, but
no, I can't. Again, it's Ned thinking he's doing the right thing, playing.
Is he doing the right thing?
I don't. Ultimately, he's not doing the right thing. He should have just put down what Robert wanted. He should have put down my son. Problem over. Well, to me, I'm looking at this from the decision that he made and the fallout that happened in that this led to his downfall, led to all of these problems happening. Joffrey, as we know, ends up taking the throne anyways.
He does.
So really, everything Ned did was for nothing. Like, he's jumped through all these hoops. He's trying to do the right thing, trying to make sure that the heir gets the throne, not specifically Joffrey, but in the eyes of whoever the heir is, you know, Joffrey ends up getting the throne. So
he does. He is an heir.
It was really kind of everything these Ned chapters have been, which is he thinks he's doing the right thing. It leads to this huge, long runaround, and ultimately we end at where we were going anyways. You know, Joffrey is going to be the king. Joffrey's going to sit on the throne. Ned doesn't put down Joffrey, doesn't put down my son. We do this huge runaround. We do all these things. Joffrey ends up sitting on the throne. And that's kind of the same thing with this whole Jon Arryn thing, running around, trying to find out what's going on, still land in the same spot. So it was almost it almost had to happen, because it would have been out of character for Ned to have not done it this way and for it not to have played out this way, which is why he's kind of a tragic hero in that way.
I agree. And by the way, Julie says, typical Ned, try to do what he hoped was the right thing, A for effort. And Juliana, love is his weakness. If Ned had told Robert on his deathbed about Joffrey, there wouldn't have been doubt about Joffrey's claim. Well, that was a good bit, because Ned, couldn't bring himself. He wanted to tell Robert about Joffrey, but, I mean, Robert sitting there dying, and oh my God, there was that one bit where, I wrote it down, but I didn't erase it, where Robert said, I was a horrible king, but this thing, they'll at least say I did this right. And it's like, your son's not even your son. You're doing
did it all
wrong.
And again,
you can't say it.
But that's Ned rude. Doing the Ned thing. Like, the right thing to do in that moment was to say, here's the truth. Like, I'm sorry, this is the last thing that you're going to know.
Is that the right thing to tell a dying man?
I think it was. Because,
hey, your life is a lie. By the way, peace out.
I feel like that then sets off a chain reaction in a different direction, because then it puts it out there. It's not just, Ned scribbling something on a piece of paper and he knows, and good for him that he knows, but nobody else does. But if he goes to Robert and is like, it's not your kid. Like, come on. Sorry, it's the last thing that you're hearing before you die, but facts are facts. This is what's happening. Then you get that out there, cat's out of the bag, and maybe we have a different series of events. But
well, there you have people. Josh Hill is heartless and will just tell a dying man that his life has been a lie, and then he dies.
We've established, too, that Robert wasn't necessarily a saint.
No.
So
but he's trying here. He's trying to do the right thing
on
for the
his
first time in his
deathbed,
life.
that's such a cop-out.
And he's still failing.
It's such a
cop-out. But you got to start sometime.
It's like in my last moments of life, I'm going to repent for all the horrible, terrible, wife-beating, slave-inducing things that I've done.
Hey, that is a classic strategy.
But it's like, don't tell him that his kid's not his kid, Your wife, not only that, but he could have really buried him. Could have been like, not only is your kid not your kid, but your wife was banging her brother, and that's who the kid's father is. Have fun in the next life, man. It's been real.
So you're like, in your head, Ned's very bitter.
Ned just turns heel. He just goes.
Turn the screw.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair enough. Maybe something different happens. But because he's such a nice guy, and because he plays it the way that in such a, as Julie said, classic, typical Ned.
Yeah.
What happens. So maybe something different would have.
But again, I mean, it didn't necessarily need to have happened the way it does. I wonder if hindsight isn't clouding our judgment a little bit, because even after Ned does that, it doesn't necessarily mean that Joffrey had to get in the throne. For example, after he does that, Renly comes up to him.
Ooh,
and Renly has this idea. Renly's like, okay, so the king, my brother's dying. We got to act. We know Cersei's going to want to take power. I have some guys. You have some guys. Let's get our guys together. Let's steal Joffrey and the kids away so Cersei won't act. We'll keep them as hostages. We'll put him on the throne, but we'll actually do the ruling. So let's do that. And I mean, in that case, that might have averted it, because then, I mean, so Renly's plan is, if we get the kids away, Cersei won't act, because she'll be afraid of them being killed, which is probably true, because there's one thing about Cersei that's redeeming, is that she She doesn't want her kids harmed. They all died anyway. But she doesn't want them harmed. She won't act to harm them. And Ned rejects this advice, too, by saying, I will not dishonor Robert's last hours on Earth by shedding blood in his halls and dragging frightened children from their beds. Again, well, I guess I kind of know how you respond to this. Is that the right answer? Because, I mean, why wouldn't you not want to drag frightened children from their beds? That sounds horrible.
He's chained to his honor. Like, that's the problem with Ned. So, I mean, everything that I'm pointing out, too, is, like, the opposite of what he would have done. So it's in a perfect world where Ned decides in the 11th hour to play the game as dirty as everybody else wants to play the game, or maybe play it the way it needs to be played. I think he was trying to go about this whole thing differently than would be allowed, because he has this vision of this romanticized good way of doing things. And it was established in all of his other chapters, and it's been established inside of the heads of all these other characters, that this world that Ned is hoping for doesn't exist. At least it doesn't exist now. Maybe it can in the future. But this perfect world where the right guy always makes the right decision, and then that right decision turns out being the thing, isn't real. Because he does make right decisions. That's not a bad decision. But in the context of the world that they live in the context of the rules of the game, it doesn't work. And ultimately, that's why he runs into all these problems. But so I'm not saying that protecting the children's a bad thing. I'm saying that maybe Ned would find a different way to go about doing that, a smarter way to do it. But.
Josh Helen and harsh truths. By the way, Juliana has a great comment. Ned's empathy for innocent kids, Daenerys, Rhaego, Cersei's kids, because again, she's right, because he also didn't want to kill Daenerys, who's a child, comes from his love for an innocent Targaryen child, Jon Snow.
Ooh,
which is, I think, a very nice insight.
That is good insight.
Ned's giving the benefit of the doubt to kids who don't have any part to play in this, just innocence. Even Joffrey, to some extent, as big of a dick as he is, at this point at least, hasn't done anything too horrible that we know of. Give him time. I like that. I mean, I want to resist it, but everything makes sense that Ned's chasing a world that just doesn't really exist. And there's the other bigger point is that making the right decision, if you make a decision that makes you feel good in the short term is different than the one that is best for everyone in the long term. Because what Littlefinger suggests is this. He points out to Ned, okay, so Ned, you want to put Stannis on the throne. If you do that, there's going to be war. Because Stannis, Cersei is going to contest it. So she's not going to take that line down. Yeah. She will support her son. There'll be a war of secession, which there is. That's the War of the Five Kings. And also he points out Stannis is like a harsh guy. Yeah. Like Robert forgave all these people who fought against him in Robert's Rebellion. Stannis wouldn't. If he became king, he would go back and execute those people, because that's the kind of guy Stannis is. He's the kind of guy who, a good deed doesn't rub out the bad, and a bad deed doesn't rub out the good. Yeah. Like, he believes in bringing you to justice. He's the guy. He holds grudges. He's the guy who, I will let you serve me, Davos. I'm going to cut off your fingers. So he would go back and he would kill all these lords, which would, again, cause more conflict in the realm. So Littlefinger's like, do not put Stannis on. He will be terrible. What you should do, make peace with the Lannisters, put Joffrey on the throne, and then just rule behind the scenes. You are the appointed hand until he comes of age. And if Joffrey's too much, then we'll just reveal that little secession thing. By that time, we'll have taken care of Stannis, and we can come up with a better plan. And again, unsurprisingly, Ned also rejects this. Because, again, it's not the straight line he likes.
It's too skeezy for him. And that's, Littlefinger is a pretty wormy character, but, the plan it's a pretty solid plan.
It's not a bad plan.
It's probably the best plan that could have been proposed. It's kind of laying the weeds behind Joffrey. I mean, ultimately, you do expose yourself to, behind-the-scenes assassination at that point, too, if you're Ned. And then you have to deal with Cersei, which I think he knows is going to be a thing, where she's kind of like a shadow queen to Joffrey's king. But this was ultimately the right decision. This is the one he should have gone with because it bought him the most time. And
Yeah.
that's ultimately what all these people are doing is buying more time before they recognize the right move. That's why Littlefinger stuck around for so long because he was always moving pieces around,
his time, yeah.
making more time for himself. And then eventually his borrowed time ran out. But that's why he was around so long. Viserys does the same thing. Like,
Viserys?
Varys, whatever.
Varys, yeah.
Varys. Viserys.
Viserys is dead. He got golden.
Varys. Viserys, Varys. He did the same. He does the same
names.
thing, you know. So kind of biding his time, playing in the shadows, making other people make moves, seeing. You know, it's like a minefield, and you're going to have somebody else go out first so they can step on the mine, and then you're like, well, there's not a mine there. I'm going to walk there. That's kind of what Littlefinger does, and this is a good plan. But Ned, because he's chained to his honor, because he's not going to do something that's not the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
He's
Any
not,
like
he's not gonna do it.
deviation from like the straight path he thinks is dishonest.
Yeah.
Karen points out that Ned telling Cersei his plan was pretty dumb because it gave her time to plan, which is totally true. And Juliana says, I think he viewed Cersei as Elia Martell, warning her so that her kids won't live the fates of Rhaenys and Aegon. He didn't want to be a Tywin, even if it was the best choice. Which, yeah, it's true. Okay, where was I? Okay. I think everything you said is probably true. It's just unfortunate that it is true. Maybe that's it, but it is.
Well, that's why Ned wasn't cut to play the game.
Yeah.
Like he's too good for it.
He does have a plan. His plan is gonna seat Stannis, but I'm gonna need some military guys to do it.
Yeah.
My guys are like helping my daughters go back north, which also doesn't work. So he asked Littlefinger, I need you to pay off the gold cloaks, which are like the city watch, the city guardsmen, to support me when I make my statement, my claim against whoever Cersei summons or musters, that's the word. And Littlefinger has a little speech about Ned. You wear your honor like a suit of armor, Stark. You think it keeps you safe, but all it does is wear you down and make it hard for you to move. You know why you summoned me here. You know what you want to ask me to do. You know it has to be done, but it's not honorable, so the words stick in your throat. The thing being, like, a guy like Ned doesn't want to ask, like, could you please pay off these guys so I will have backup? Which is totally true. Ned nails it here. I mean, Littlefinger nails it here.
Yep.
But he does agree, and as we know, he ends up betraying Ned. Because, I mean, frankly, why wouldn't you? After all the mistakes this guy has made, I can see where Littlefinger is coming from.
Well, Littlefinger's very good at looking ahead, looking at the moves, 3 or 4 moves ahead.
Yeah.
So if
Ned's
the
kind of
writing
a
wasn't
one-move
already
guy.
on the wall for Ned, between Ned and Littlefinger, when Ned didn't go with his plan, which was the best plan, that was the final straw. Because Littlefinger at that point is like, this guy's never going to make the right call, no matter what.
Sure.
Like that was like, to me, of all the decisions of all the bad, decisions that Ned has been able to avoid to keep his honor armor on or whatever.
I like that.
This is probably the one that he could have gone with and still felt like he was still honorable, because he's not overthrowing, he's not killing anybody, he's not double crossing anybody, he's putting Joffrey on the throne.
I mean,
that's kind of dishonoring.
He'd be a lie of omission. He wouldn't be telling people about the incest secret.
Yeah, and of all the other things that
And
he could
he'd
have
be
done
plotting
wrong,
to kill Stannis.
that would have been bad. That will, again, of all the things too that he had to do, I feel like this is the one that he should have gone with. And then Littlefinger, ultimately,
I think
Littlefinger's
Renly's
like,
was probably the most honorable.
well, I don't think Renly's would have worked though.
No?
No,
Maybe not.
but and I don't know if Littlefinger's would have worked, because maybe Ned would have got bumped off in the background.
He has this great line, Littlefinger, where Ned's like, what you propose is treason. Littlefinger's like, only if we lose.
Exactly, and that's why Littlefinger's like, this guy's never going to be on the right side of me. So like, he's never going to do even deviate a little bit from the path to extend his time, or to maybe get to the right decision by taking a little bit of a shortcut. Incest and killing
Or like
Stannis
the long
is
way around.
Yeah, he's going to go
It's almost
no
like
way.
Ned wants the short way. Ned wants Stannis is the king because it's the letter of the law. We do that. Like they're all proposing like these plans that have like kind of hidden rooms and little offshoots.
Exactly.
He doesn't like any of that. He's not into it.
Yeah, and Littlefinger knows he's never going to do that, and that, to me, was when that door closed. And Littlefinger was probably the most valuable door that he had there that he didn't know he had, because he stuck around for so long. He knows how to play the game. So.
And if Littlefinger can kill off the husband of the woman he loves while he's at it, sure.
Bonus points.
Let's do that. Okay, so it was an intense chapter.
It was.
When you look at it this way, it's like it could be like the chapter could be called Eddard 13, 3 Bad Decisions. But again, the trick of the book is they don't seem like bad decisions in the moment. I don't think they would. Maybe they would to people reading for the first time. I kind of doubt it. Yeah, I can't know anymore. None of us can know. What did you think about them for the first time? All right. I also want to give a brief shout out to Martin for the sheer number of minor characters and names who have like one line or no lines but are mentioned. What'd you think of Tomard, Kane, King Robert Stewart, Sir Boros Blunt, Sir Preston Greenfield, Sir Robar Royce, Porther, Desmond, Bronze Jan Royce, Sir Balin Swan, the Redwine Twins, and Lady Tonda Stokeworth? What is being like tossed in there, sprinkled in there?
The Redwine Twins were my favorite.
Some of them do come up, and some of these people do. I mean, they don't play major roles, but they do become like supporting characters,
populating the background.
As just a moment of appreciation for how much names Martin has to come up with just to fill this out. I figured that would like be like just hours pouring over like just writing syllables and pairing them together and seeing if anything sounds okay.
The Redwine Twins, I don't feel like he spent a lot of time coming up with that one.
The Redwine Twins? No. I believe that's Lady Olenna's original family. I think she's Olenna Redwine.
Oh.
It's her like maiden name. Whatever. Next week we can go back to 2.
All right.
I believe we have a John chapter.
All right.
And of course, another Ned chapter, not mistaken. Yes, another Ned chapter. So, John and Ned. Oh, what a day on Take the Black Live. We did a giveaway. Good luck to everybody who entered the giveaway. We say goodbye to Kayla Knierim. Another great edition of Song of Dan and Josh. We'll be back next week with all of that.
Indeed.
Next week at Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time here on the Winners Queen Facebook page. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Good night.